What does it take to be a successful entrepreneur? A dangerous amount of coffee and a ton of grit. My name is Jason Tracy, and every week I interview business leaders to share their stories, life lessons, failures, and advice with you. Welcome to Coffee and Grit. What is up? What is up? What is up? I do not get tired of that roar every single time. That's like I look forward to every Monday hearing the intro song, grooving. I tried to do it, Mike, without the sound, and it's so weird just starting off, just hearing my voice. So
get you pumped up.
I hope everybody else feels the same way I do about the intro. Give me the feedback. Let me know what you think. So super awesome. I have another difference maker in the studio today. We have Mike Noonan from Noonan Electric. He's got 2 locations, one out in Farmington, a newer one out in Brighton, and super excited to talk about how he got into that and some really cool things. We're talking about employees and adding people and some really cool things. So I want to kick off. We were talking about this a little bit ago, and I spent my weekend this weekend watching my son play basketball, and he made an AAU team this week. And I just want to kind of give, again, perseverance, the grit, knowing a mindset. We talk about that quite a bit and what it takes to be an entrepreneur, but really just to be successful in life, period. And so I want to share a little story about my son. I know you'll enjoy it. Yeah. We'll talk about football and your son a little bit too, I imagine. And so my son, we were sharing with Mike here, he got cut actually his freshman year. He didn't, long story short, he got cut his freshman year, and so he didn't do anything different. He didn't put into the work. He didn't go into the summer stuff for basketball this year. And to me, basketball is a sport. He loves it. He's good at it. It's like out of all the sports I look at, that's the one that you should pursue. And he loves it. And like I said, he plays with me a couple times a week. And so this year came around, and I found out he wasn't trying out. And as a dad, I'm really, I was really disappointed. It made my heart hurt because it's like, I see his talent in that sport. I had coached some of the kids that were on the team, and so I know his talent level versus some of the other kids on the team, and I know the reason he didn't make the team the year before was just because he didn't put himself out there. He tried to show up for tryouts 2 days in, didn't do any summer work. The coaches didn't know who he was. You got to be Michael Jordan coming in there. You got to be really talented to show that you need to be on that team if you're not putting any of that work in. And so that's why he didn't try out this year, and he didn't feel confident. He's like, I didn't put in the work, and I couldn't argue with him because I know you show up and you didn't put in that work, and just confidence is everything, right?
Sure.
So what are you going to do? Do you love playing? And we had this really good conversation. He does love playing. He's like, I do want to be on the team. So it's like, what are you going to do to be there? Because you have these kids now they're going to be here 2 years of playing basketball, organized ball, that you're not. And so what are you going to do to make sure that you can take that leap up and make a varsity team next year?
For sure.
And he gave me a detailed plan. He said, I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to do this. He's like, hold me accountable. He plays with me, like I said, a couple times a week against some high level, older, adults. And I've seen him put in the work. And it's been cool because everybody else, it's not just me, the dad, that's like, my son is good at basketball. It's like all these people saying, where's he playing? Where's he playing? And it's nowhere, right? But so he came to me last week and he was like, hey, what if there's an AAU team that I could try out for? Yeah. Could I do it? And I'm like, dude, yeah, man, go out and do it. Go out and try out, see what happens. And so he did that. He put himself out there. There's an AAU team. They've been together since February, and they had an injury that opened up a spot. And so Jackson put himself out there, tried out on Monday and Wednesday. And it's really cool. It's cool to get the feedback from the coaches. It's the stuff that I know as a dad, but you don't, when you talk about your kid, you're like, oh, you're just a dad that has the dad goggles on. But it's like, I see those things. It's like he's coachable. He has the high IQ. When it comes to learning plays, he's a really good team player. He'll do anything, and he's coachable, but he has the athleticism too, and he's put in the work. And the coaches were raving about him, really wanted to be a part of the team. And so I just wanted to throw that story out there because there's gonna be times that stuff is hard. You might feel like you're behind. You may not like people on a team or whatnot, but this is the thing that happens in life, period. And you got to get through it. And if not, you're sitting on the sidelines with regret and resentment.
For sure. And those are life lessons, right? I mean, athletes, growing up, you're a team, you're committed, you got to put the work in. As an employer, that's what I look for. I love athletes.
Me too.
If you're an athlete, let's go, because you're driven. You know what it's like to be a team. We don't call ourselves we call ourselves teams. We're a team. We're all a team. We help each other out. And if you buy into that as an athlete, you're going to be an awesome employee or team team member in our group for sure.
I love that we're kicking it off talking about this aspect, and because I loved the same thing when I'm going through interviews, I always loved and I'd look for the athletes, because again, part of a team, one dream, all the goals, they're used to that, but they're also used to being coached.
Yes.
And to me,
you want to win. You want to win, and what does winning doesn't always look like a score. Winning could be, hey, I knocked this awesome 3-day job out in one day. That's a win. Like you took it, you overcome it, and that's winning.
Yeah,
I think it's great. I love athletes. I was an athlete growing up. I was driven. I think that put me into like I loved winning. I loved everything of the competition. I loved all of it. And then you take that into your career, and you're driven, and you want to go to the top, right? What do I have to do to get there? I want to get there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that, how you took that mentality of competing at a high level and turning it into being a business athlete, really.
100%. It was. I mean, I knew I went to college. I went to Adrian College. I played there for 1 year, played baseball. I knew it wasn't for me. I mean, baseball, I love baseball. Played my whole life. Went there. I played. I was working in electrical before I went there, and I was like, man, I loved, my passion was in that. Like, I loved doing it. I loved watching it, going to somebody's house and fixing their problem and instant gratification, right? They got what they wanted. I fixed it. It was like a win-win for both of us, and that was great. So I was like, I want to go back and do that. So I did. So I took, baseball was amazing, and then right back into work, and I just took that focus of that drive of baseball and took it right into my career. And like when I say team, we're a team. Like I'm into my 13th year right now. I mean, we have 2 locations. I will jump in the field in a heartbeat and help someone out. If it means like, hey, to help, and I still do it. I did it last week, jumped out on a job and got it through, because like, I don't know, this is live. I don't feel comfortable. I'll be right there.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I want our whole team to do. Like hey, if someone's slacking, let's go help them out. Let's get them ahead. Let's get this thing done.
I love it. I think when we were talking on Friday over the phone, we talked about like not having our people do something that we wouldn't do ourselves.
Yeah, I would never, and I say that, I would never sell a job that I wouldn't do myself, like ever. I would never put you in a situation I wouldn't be myself. Like I remember we were doing a crawl space job, and I looked at it and I said, it's not bad. They called me and like, there's just a bee's nest down here. I'm like, it was fall. I'm like, probably dormant, right? They're not. He's like, no, I've seen them. I said, all right, I'll be there. So I come from Farmington out to Novi. I grab a garbage bag. I jump down into the crawl space. I grab the bee's nest. I pull it out, and they're like, "Man, thanks so much." I was worried about getting stung by a bee. Like, well, they're not going to sting you anymore. So I mean, that was that. Off the top of my head, that was one of the. It was cool. Like and you get total street cred for that. They're like, "Man, this guy comes up and going to take that bee's nest out so we can, finish the job." 100%.
It's huge, because again, it gives you street cred. Your people see that you're not below doing those things.
Oh, in a heartbeat. Like I said, I'm an advocate. I will not sell a job I won't do myself.
And when you're creating a culture, whether it's on a sports team or a business, when the captain and the coach, when they will jump in and they will do that stuff too, it gives that example of, why wouldn't I just jump in and do it?
Why wouldn't I just jump in?
Well, if you're an employee or if you're on that team, like when the leader is setting the standard, or the captain of the team or the main player is setting that standard, who are you not to do that same thing? You're following suit, right?
Like, like I see if Mike's going to jump in and do it, then I want to take my apprentices as a licensed electrician. I want my apprentices to learn that, because it kind of trickles down, right? So they all, they used to always work with me first, and now it's not like that. But I would set the precedence for like what I want in my company, and now my other guys are doing what I used to do. They set the precedence. They know what I want, so that trickles down from like every employee, like, works with these guys. We've all worked with bad employees. I mean, I have, and I hated it. Sunday comes around, you're like, man, Monday I got to go and I got to work with this guy, and I never want that. And I want my culture to be like, I want guys like, oh man, this is sweet.
Yeah,
I want to go do this. I want to be a licensed electrician. I want to do what I need to do to get there. So that starts from the day you walk in the door, from learning our process, how we do things, and we coach you and we check up on you. 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, we make sure, and we have like where you should be at in the time you've been here. And if you're not there, what can we do to get you there? Like that's I don't want anybody to fail. If you show up on time and you're a hard worker, I'll make you an awesome electrician.
That's huge.
Yeah. Just put the time in, we'll get you there.
It's huge, and we talk about being coachable. And there's a lot of people that they're not used to being coached. They think that like when people are coming up to them and giving them advice or feedback, that it's like they're being negative on them or whatever. And it's like, I love your mindset and the way you even position it of like we don't want you to fail.
Yeah, I don't want you to fail. But that goes right back into coaching. Like, not everybody gets a trophy. Not everybody's gonna play. Like you got to earn your position. Like if you come to my practice and you practice your butt off and you're gonna play. If you miss 3 practices and you're not gonna play.
Yeah.
That's like if you don't show up for work, you're gonna get fired, right? It's the same, and it goes from this little to big. And if everybody's getting a trophy and everybody wins at this age, what are they going to look like when they get into the real world and start working? Are they going to be like, well, I don't have to go to work. Why do I have to go to work?
I've seen it a lot. We've talked about this a lot on the episode, on the podcast, but like people that when they, especially I was hiring salespeople, people that got their business degree or in college were the worst people to hire because they got that degree and it was like they got their paper trophy and they came in, they wanted to be a manager. They wanted to be a leader. And it was like, you don't know how to sell, let alone like then teach people how to do it.
I mean, that's like rolling in and grabbing a Little League trophy and go, hey, I made it. Sweet. I got my little 4-foot or little 2-inch trophy.
Yeah.
No, there's so many different levels of trophies you can get. Like, don't just take that little one. Go for the big one.
Go and learn.
Yeah.
And I think that, and it's not their fault per se, because we put a lot of emphasis on achievement, or like there's not a lot of patience. They want the end result like right now, and it's remembering when you're going into something that they can learn from somebody like you that's been in this industry forever. And then there's so much to learn from you.
There's a lot to learn, and looking back at my me coming up, I was surrounded by awesome people, and I didn't even know it at the time. Like I'm looking back, going, wow, I had some awesome role models, like great guys that were super successful, but just took me under their wing and like kind of said, hey, do this, and do that. That'll get you here, right? Because I mean, I got a phone call, like I was driving a truck. I was like 16. My buddy's like, hey, I'm going to Michigan State. Do you want to take my spot as an electrician? I go, sure, that's cool. I'd rather say I'm an electrician than say I drive a parts truck. Yeah, so that was the one that got me into electrical. Like as easy as that. Like, sure. I was young. I didn't know. And I was like, sure. So I went and I did it and I actually loved it. And then coming to find out the people that were, I was working at the Novi Expo Center, and the guys that were my boss was a cool boss. He was the best boss I ever had. His name is Dave Murphy. He's a great guy. So he took me in and kind of taught me how to do electrical. But also took me out on the side and did side jobs like residential houses, panels, stuff like that. And then on the weekends, he was like, coming out to my house. He lives on Walled Lake. I'm like, man, this guy's got a boat, a jet ski, lives on a lake, does something awesome that like is super awesome to be an electrician. I was like, I'm going to be an electrician. I'm in. I was totally in. And then just the people that he was surrounded by, like, were just great people. Like, I had a job. I had a chance to go work at General Motors at a young age. Like, it was way more money.
Yeah.
But he said, you put yourself there, you can go climb through the ropes and be up at whatever at the top. But if that ever fails, what do you have? You don't have a license. You don't have anything. Stick with electrical. You have a license that nobody can take from you. I go, yeah, that makes total sense. Like, make yourself valuable. So I did. And I took it all the way to journeyman, masters, contractors, got all the highest you can get. And now I live 4 doors down from him, which is super cool.
So
yeah,
cool.
We're neighbors. I'm like, and it's cool walking out, going, man, that was the dream. And now you get there, and it's like, it's pretty cool.
When did it hit you that was that you had achieved your dream?
Man, it's tough because I have no ceiling. And my wife will tell you. My wife will tell you that. Like she tries to give me a ceiling. Like you need this, or you're just so. I think her saying, "Hey, you need to say like, hey, you did it. Like you've blew on those barriers, you made it. Like, but it's tough.
I asked that question because a lot of entrepreneurs, especially athletes, a lot of driven people, we're our biggest critics.
Yeah.
And so we never stop and like celebrate the success or celebrate the wow.
And I don't think I ever have. I don't think I've ever been like, wow, like you may like take a glimpse and be like, oh yeah, I did that. But you're always like I'm focused on Brighton right now. Like I want to grow Brighton. So like I have a whole new focus I need to make Brighton as successful as Farmington. So
it's a whole new energy. I can see it in your eyes, man. I can see the spark.
It's like a whole new thing. Like it's like, all right, so, and then where does it stop? I don't know. There's no ceiling. I probably need I don't know. I can't put a ceiling on it. It's hard.
Well, that's your superpower though, because you'll keep growing.
It's my like I feel like you have like kids that come in and it's like, man, I can make a difference. I can make a difference in this kid. Like you've had the same option I had. It was driving a truck for a company or being an electrician. And if you make that choice, I will make you an electrician, and I'll make it successful. Like the sky's the limit. And I tell everyone at our company that I'm like, you'll never bottom out. You can take it as far as you want. Like you can run the company, you can run a division, you can just be a leader. You can be an apprentice for the rest of your life if you want to, although I would not allow that. I'd want you to keep going, but you can run a division, run a branch. I mean, the sky's the limit. Once you get up and get your master's through then we can explore other avenues. Like, I don't want anybody to feel like you're ever an idol, because I never wanted to be an idol.
That's so inspiring. That's energizing.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's cool seeing it. Like, I feel like you won't see a guy come into our shop and be like they're always like, oh, we got this job and we're doing this. I got the, oh man, you see what he did, and sharing pictures, and it's pretty cool. Like to see the passion in these guys, and they like, I feel like they have what I have. Like that, we love what you do.
I think as I hear you talking, it's a couple of things. It's one, giving people an opportunity to continue growing, but having that passion, energy around it, I think gets other people that passion and energy in a way.
Because I mean, there's a lot of companies out there that want to just give you enough to just get by. Like, you can't be better than me. Well, let's go. Like, be the best. Like, don't put limits on it. Let's go to the top.
Yeah, you like, just to sum up what I was saying, you care.
I do.
And then you give people a way to grow, and that's just going to attract the people that want to continue to grow and move. And I know we were talking about beforehand, like you just had somebody, you've had people just walk in and apply recently, where it's been hard before, where all of a sudden people are just kind of walking in. Yeah. Well,
yeah, because I think you build an atmosphere, and your name gets out there, and people are like, well, I've seen Noonan electric trucks around. Maybe I'll go fill out an application and work there. And our guys too, like they're super inviting. Like I said, when we have a culture, you could be the greatest electrician, but if you're not going to fit our mold, then I'm just not going to have you on board. Like I don't want you to be an awesome electrician, but not get along with any of my guys. Or if you get your job done and you just go home and leave these guys out and they got to stay till 6, like I want you to be like, hey, I like you guys. I want to help you so let's go rock it out and get home at 4. Because we all have families at home, and everyone wants to get home and see their kids play sports or whatever. So if we can all work as a team and make that happen, that's what I want. And
what's so cool about that? When you set that culture, you set that expectation. I'm sure the people that come in that have bad attitudes weed themselves out.
Yeah. Well, I'm a pretty good judge. Pretty good judge. I can tell if you're going to mesh well within the first 15 minutes of our interview. A couple questions we ask, and just kind of I'm not. Our interviews aren't like, hey, what's your? I'm like, I want to know. Tell me about you. Let me hear about you first. I mean, I can make you an electrician, but if you're not a good person, then you're not going to be a good fit.
Yeah. I love that. I love that because that was my interview style. Like sitting down with me for an interview is just like this.
Yeah. I want to tell me about you. I mean, and some of it was like, we should have did a phone interview before we did the real interview.
Do you find people tell you things they wouldn't tell you? Like they wouldn't tell a normal boss?
Oh yeah. I had guys walk in. I was like, how'd you get here? It's like, oh, I got dropped off because I have a DUI, and I'm like, wow. Like he went into this whole like, you want a job? Like, there's no way I couldn't hire you. My insurance company, for one, wouldn't let me in. And you do not fit our mold, like, at all. Yeah, and he was going in, like, what he did and how he did. I'm like, man.
It's something like when you approach people in a conversation, it's different than what they're used to, because everybody's used to going to the interview where the manager's got that list of questions in front of them.
It's funny. I have a question. It's like, if you get it, then I'll just to know what you know. But I always wonder, like, what does a normal interview look like? What is because I don't feel like I'm a normal. Like, I want to just talk and get to know you. What is a normal? Is it dry? Like, I don't. I
think the normal is dry. The normal is clinical.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as like a resume,
like a flow chart.
Flow chart.
And like, if you answer it, then you go here. Like,
I think there's so many things that we do because it's tradition, or we just, we saw our bosses do it. And so you just kind of go on and do the same exact thing. And my wife was making a resume a few weeks ago, and she was like, she was creating, it was really a good, I don't want to even say resume, because a typical resume is like just crap language. It's like fake. It's very clinical.
It's like AI makes them now.
It's like AI. Yeah,
I read these. I'm like, is that AI right now? Is that you?
And that's probably actually more interesting than what I used to get from people in their normal thing. But like interviews oftentimes are the typical is, I think it's almost people not coming and not caring, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they don't care, but it's just they don't know how to do it. And so they ask these questions. They may not even know why they're asking those questions. Like, what's a good response for that question?
That's like, it's really corporate. Like, I could not do corporate. Like, I couldn't do it. I want to be more free and, and just kind of go. And we kind of brings me into like, we have like idea boxes and stuff. Like, what makes your day better? What can make your day better? We got to be here for 8 to 10 hours a day. What is that? What makes it better? Like, what can we do to make this a better place? I mean, we have our office is like coffee and snacks, and it's like the morning you walk in, it's not like, all right, you got to go here, you got to go there. Hey man, how did your day go last? What's your night look like? What's your morning? And how was everything going? And we have those Friday meetings. Like, I actually pulled myself out of them. I used to run them, and I pulled myself out because no one wants to really talk to the boss, or even though I think I'm cool, I'm probably not. But,
it's like a dad thinking they're cool, right? Like,
like you ask questions and they're not going to tell you. So I removed myself. So now there's like it's the crews, it's the leader, and they just go and do their own thing on Fridays. Just what's up with life? What's up with your job? How did last week go? How can we make this week better? Like what can we do as a group to make us all function better? And they have great meetings about that.
That's awesome. Because again, like those are the people seeing all the things.
Yeah.
They have their boots on the
They're
ground.
in there, right?
They're in there.
Yeah. Like people ask me, like, I'll be on the estimate. And they're like, well, we want you. I go, you don't want me. I go, these guys do it every day. They're way better than me now. You wanted me probably 10 years ago. Like, you don't want me now. It's like, let them do it. They're great. This is what they do. And they're like, and you'll see the reviews. Oh, this guy did great. Like I told you, like I know what I'm talking about. On the estimate, yes, I can do it, but so can these guys, and they're great at what they do, and they're going to be passionate. And you can read. I think we're at I don't know 600 5-star reviews now online or on Google, and they're. I answer every one of them. Personally, answer every review. I mean, I love reading it,
awesome.
And it's so cool seeing like, oh man, these guys, they kicked butt. They nailed it. They did a great job. And this person took the time out of their day to go online and say that this guy did a great job.
Yeah, that's what's huge. Is they did a great job when somebody takes that time to give a shout out and not a critique.
Yep. Because it's way easier to critique.
Way easier.
Oh, when you're mad.
You're hyped up.
But when you did a good job to go on there, it's a whole different. I don't know. They did a good job, but to take the time and some of the reviews, they're paragraphs. Like they really were passionate about the guys that came and did their work. And
at what point did you realize that leadership was true power?
I mean, I've always kind of had I was always vocal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I always talked and it wasn't baseball. Like come on, let's go. Let's get this game. We can do this. And when you're talking with a passion, people follow you and they're like, if you're like, let's just take charge and go, then they'll join you and rock and take your vision and go with it. And I think I took that all the way into right now. Like, I have a vision of where I want to go, but I have everybody's input too. Like, hey, how do we, like, we all want to get here. Let's all work together and get here. And I think I'm making young leaders too. I think these guys are totally going, man, like, and let's, I want that. And I think it's powerful.
It's so powerful. And I remember way back ago when we booked this a couple months ago and we had our conversation, it was a guy like you that changed my life, right? Because he was developing leaders. He knew it. But giving people that opportunity, you don't get that opportunity all the time to be able to come in and have a owner of a company see you as a person and say, I really want what's best for you, not just what's best for me. Yeah. Knowing that when you pour into those people and you get the best out of them, of course, Noonan Electric is going to rock, right? Yeah. Like, of course, your company is going to grow and do well. But to have that thought process in the first place of when I give back to these people, it's going to create the experience that you gave and you can quantify it. Yeah.
And I that's always in the back of my mind is like what I was given, what I had is, and I want to give that same thing. Like I actually do lake day at my house every summer, like the whole company. It's paid day. Come to my house. We're going to go out on the boat. We're going to go on that 4 doors down from where I started is where I'm at. And maybe one person to get inspired, be like, man, this is cool. And none of it was given. I worked my ass off for it. Yep. I mean, I put in the work. I mean, you can ask my wife. She's like, I was a nut. I worked long. I worked hard. I worked weekends. But when I'm out there floating on the lake, it's like, this is awesome. I love it. It's my sanctuary. It's my thing. I mean, I have water on my. That's awesome. I love it. It's water, electricity, timing. It's a whole. We talk about that a whole other day.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's interesting. That's so cool. Yeah, tell me about it.
It's pretty cool. So this is the timing. Time is everything. Time runs your whole life. So this is time, and 10/23 is my wife's and I's anniversary. So that's the number that's on there. Lightning bolts is, everything I do is electricity, and then water. I've always loved the water. So I have water and then in here, I just know your direction. I snowmobile in the UP all the time. So I got the UP in the middle of it.
Oh, that's badass.
So it's cool. So, and and I have a big picture of Jesus right here because I had a stroke 2 years ago. Which was snowmobiling in the UP. Had a stroke. Wow. So which was another thing, like, hey, maybe and it really changed my perspective. I was like, nothing can stop me. Let's go, go, go. And, now it's like, all right, maybe I need to sleep a little bit. Maybe I should eat healthier. Maybe not put so many hours in. It really did kind of pull me back a little bit. Like
knowing you're human.
Kind of maybe have a half ceiling now. Yeah. Like it's eye-opening, and it was like, wow, like that it could have been over. The whole thing could have been over right now. And I think about that, and I'm in the doctors all the time now because they want to check you out. I was young. I was 43 when I had that. So come to find out I had a hole in my heart, and I have a gene that produces blood clots. So up in the UP, driving 12 hours, lifting a snowmobile, shot a clot through, and I didn't know it for a couple of days later. And I still worked. I was still doing estimates, climbing ladders in attics after that, and I didn't know it. And
you got lucky.
You should have came in a couple of days ago. Yeah, I didn't know. I just thought I was dizzy, and but when I started slurring my speech, I was like, ooh, something's not right. I was an estimate. I was like talking, and I was like, man, I don't sound right. And I went to the doctor, went to sign in, and I was like, ooh, like that doesn't look right. Like that's not my signature. And he's a friend of mine, so I told him like, hey, like, Doc, I didn't sign in right. He goes, let me check you out. He goes, hey, you look okay, but go to the ER. And and when they started saying, we got the stroke patient, I was like, who's that? Like, that's you. You had a quarter-sized stroke. Go through here. I was like, man.
Wasn't it something at 43 you never think you would go through?
You never think about that. You would never, I'm healthy, I'm active, I would never have a stroke. But there I am 2 years later, I had a stroke, and thank God I've I'm full functioning and stuff. But yeah, it was an eye opener. Like
I don't imagine the perspective shift.
Yeah, it was more. All right, let's still build this. I'm not going to lose my passion, but let's focus on health too, like yourself. And I'm working, exercising, working out, trying to eat healthy. Like you got now, it's an eye opener.
It's like a balance, knowing that, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I was like a pop drinker, but you think of the trades guys are like Mountain Dew, energy drinks, fast food, in and out of houses. So and that's like, can't do that. Like that's not a healthy lifestyle. But we're as tradesmen, we're on the road all the time.
All the time.
Like you jump in the truck in the morning and you get to the job, and most of the time you're there for 8 hours. So if you're packing a lunch or you're grabbing fast food, it's not a healthy life. If you pack a lunch, it's healthy. But if you're eating fast food or eating gas station food, that's not a healthy lifestyle. And trades guys, we all do that.
We do.
Like. So that's another thing. Like, hey, what can we put healthy stuff in the office? And I mean, I looked at it's not that healthy, but it could be healthier. We should have some fruit and stuff in there, but
you're trying.
I'm
you're
trying.
Like,
I'm trying. I'm like, let's get some apples and some bananas. Let's lay off the Star Crunches.
It's so funny, the stuff that's marketed as healthy, and then you start reading it, and you're like, this is probably better. I'll just go eat a donut.
It's not healthy. Yeah. So it's funny. And that's just some of the stuff that I try to do. Like, hey, let's try to be healthier. I mean, I don't know how far that's going to go, but you can at least say it. Like, hey, maybe eat healthier. Maybe not hit the fast food. Maybe pack a lunch. I pack a lunch. I mean, I'm always packing lunches.
I love how we talked about the very first time we talked about how, you think of electrical, and so you think of, like wiring and stuff like that. But talk about some of the cool things that you guys do.
Oh, I mean, that was one of the things when it was probably, it's probably been 10 years now. Everybody had cool, like plumbers had tankless water heaters.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, and they had like programmable thermostats for heating and cooling. And I'm like, man, we have nothing. Like we have a panel and we have old recessed lights. Well, all of a sudden now we have smart houses, which are awesome. I mean, my whole house is controlled by my phone. From geofencing to like if you leave your house and you can program it to like if I get 100 feet from my house, all the lights turn off. Or if I get 100 feet from my house, my upstairs turns off, leave the bottom stairs on, turn the temperature to 65. Like all that stuff can happen, and you can put scenes like come home at night, hit chill. Your whole house is dimmed to 30%. Awesome. Fireplace comes on, song goes on, whatever awesome. You want to. It's like, that's way better than a tankless water heater.
That's way better than a tankless water heater.
We're here. We've made it. So that was cool. It was when it first came out, it was difficult. There was a lot of extensive wiring that went in, contactor based and all. Now we can do it. We can retrofit your house in probably a day, a normal house in a day. We could have it pretty much automated.
Wow.
Yeah, it's come a long way. And it's even getting more and more easier to do and more integrated. So you have color changing lights now. You have music in your lights, Bluetooth. You can put a recess can in your bathroom with a speaker and link it. There's some pretty. The
sky's kind of the limit in what you can do.
It is. I mean, now that they got the color changing lights, you can do everything. Like, I mean, we have want to be green for St. Patrick's Day. All that stuff can be changed and super cool, and it's easy. It just couple fixture swaps and you're automated and changing colors. So that's cool. And then we got EV chargers. Like that's a big thing now. Electric vehicle, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we do a ton of it.
I didn't even think about that. That has something like if you get an EV, you've got to install a charger at home. And
you got to do a panel upgrade because most people don't have 200 amps. So, you have a 100 amp panel, you have a small panel. There's some ways we can work around it, but most time you need a 200 amp panel upgrade to power the EV. And some have two. So now they can simultaneously talk to each other while they charge. You don't need two circuits. You can charge, you can Wi-Fi them. They'll communicate to each other on when they're charging the cars. When they first came out, it was a Cat 5. They'd communicate with a communication cable, but now they can wirelessly talk and charge.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that's cool. So we're getting there. We have some neat things, and I think we might have surpassed them in our technology and what we have.
Like you said, that's way cooler than a tankless water heater.
I mean, if you have young kids, tankless water heaters are cool because no one wants to take a cold shower. So we're like, all right, that's cool. But I can open my garage door and close my garage door and open my locks. All that can go down with your phone. I mean, I could turn my stove on from my phone if you wanted to.
What do you think about back in the day? Is like when you're leaving the house and you're like, man, did I turn the iron off? Did I, now you don't have to worry about that stuff.
Now, I mean, now they have plugs. All your plugs can be controlled by your phone. If you want to turn your plugs off, it's a click of a button.
It puts the clapper to shame.
But the technology was there that long ago.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Like, I mean, if you could clap your hands and turn the light on, I mean, that should have been there. But
it's just taking that extra leap and figuring it out. But the connections and
it's all Bluetooth connected now. Just we hook a hub up and hook it to your phone, and I mean, you pull your interface up and it's all right there. I mean, you can see every light in your house. Like, we'll leave and I'll ask my kids, like, hey, your light's off? Yep. Look on the phone.
No, it's not.
No, they're not. Oh, we thought we turned them off. Yeah, you did. You just said yes to appease me.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I can check the answer.
No, you liar. So that's pretty cool. And I did, like, at my whole house, I had to shut off for like 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, all the lights go off. And my wife's like, why? Like, sometimes I'm home at 10 and I don't want all the lights turning off. So
she's at home, all of a sudden all the lights go off.
They do, all the time. I actually just changed it last week. They all go off. Every light in the house goes off. There was a couple times I was home like, oh yeah, that does kind of annoy me. So we had to change that. So there's some stuff like that. But you can have sensors in your house so it can sense you if you're moving around. I mean, it's sky's the limit with that stuff too.
I love to see how technologies came. I spent so much time in the phone industry, and I remember when the camera first came out of the phone, I'm like, who wants to take crappy pictures with their phone? I had no foresight for where this was going. It's like,
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Every cameras are I mean, the kids now, I don't think they ever turn them off.
No.
Like, they're walking around, like, I'll be sitting in my living room like, hey, quit filming. They're like, we're not. I'm like, you are. You're putting me on your Snapchat or whatever.
It was like my son and his girlfriend went on vacation during spring break, and we stayed home, and like they talked almost all day, every day on the phone.
Yeah.
They're doing video chat all day, like not even talking. They're just hanging out, right? Yeah. Like, she's hanging with her family, he's hanging with us, or he's doing whatever, and like all of a sudden you hear her voice, and it's like, is that Nikki? Like, oh yeah, she's on the like.
That's so weird. I'm eating breakfast or something, and all of a sudden I see a phone pop up I'm like, my daughter's. I'm like, that's me. She's like, no. I was like, you took a picture of me. No, I didn't. I go, yeah. Why else would you be hiding behind the counter and a phone pop up? And the camera, I can see the camera. You took a picture of me, and you'll be driving your car. You'll just be driving down the road, and you look over, and you're like in the picture. So everything they do has to be on his phone, his camera. They got to take a picture of it.
Yeah,
and it's
just random stuff too. If you ever looked at your kids' pictures, it's like it makes no sense.
It's like, why? Like,
it's like a picture of like half your head. Like, I don't know.
Like, do people care about that? I don't. It's generational, right? Like, it is. We used to ride bikes, and they don't ride. Everything's on Snapchat, or they know where all their friends are on their phone. It's crazy.
Well, that's huge because there is a different level of the way they communicate. And I think it opens up worlds. Like my son's girlfriend's out in Milford. They met online. They met, like that used to be such a stigma thing to say. Yeah. People wouldn't want to admit like we met online, but that's where most people are meeting these now.
Everybody is, yeah.
They met like through a friend. They were all talking in a group chat on Snapchat, and the next thing you know, they're talking, and now they've been together since like July or something. So it's June. It was June.
Yeah.
But like.
And you're in Brighton.
And we're in Brighton.
Yeah. I'm in my son's girlfriend's in Milford too, and we're in Walled Lake.
Yeah.
And then all of his friends.
Do you meet online or school or?
I think through school, like their friends through school.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything's Snapchat. Like like you don't meet with a handshake. What's your snap or whatever, and then that's how they meet actually meet people, I guess.
It is. So that's huge. It's a huge tool. It's been important for me to point out to Jackson, because that's how, even the way I do business, like I use the tools like a text or an email or even social media to shoot a message to say, hey, let's meet up. Yeah. Let's have a hey, it's been a while. Let's have a conversation or whatever. Like, it's an easy tool to do that. But understanding it's a tool, and there still has to be that normal communication.
Yeah. I think we have that. I think they don't care about that interaction, the human interaction. I think it's okay, but I don't.
They have to know how important it is, though, because right now it isn't a big deal. But there is a point.
Yeah, when you have to communicate with somebody. You have to walk in and have a conversation and be able to do that.
That's never going to be a thing that isn't good. Like communication is always going to solve more problems than anything. Even you and your company and your culture. Like if you're not communicating these things.
Yeah,
like,
even text message, they can come out wrong. Like I can shoot you a text and the way you can read it like oh no, I didn't mean it like that at all. Like if we were talking, it would have made total sense.
Yep.
But over text messaging, it can get messed up.
I had this guy that was on my team, and he just always thought the worst. For some reason, when certain things, he'd always like read it in a voice that was like telling him off or something, and he'd like get all defensive with me, and it was like. He's like, why are you being a jerk? And I was like, what are you talking about, man? Like, do you want to send smiley faces with my text? Like, what's your problem? Like,
yeah, it's
like, you know me. Do you think I'm talking to you like that? Like,
right. I know it's so crazy. I thumbs up. Like if someone says something, I'm going to say, okay,
thumbs
that's
up.
cool.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, I just meant good. Like, oh, because I put that as like a sarcastic. I'm like, no, it's a thumbs up. It means good. Exactly okay, I get it. They're like, oh, I use that as sarcastic, so I thought you were being sarcastic.
And so when we think about the way we interpret communications, like the majority of the way we interpret what people are saying is by their body language and by the tonality, right. Of a voice. And so we're throwing away, I think 77% of how we communicate or how we interpret communication is on those two things. The third thing is like written. So you have 30, you don't know what people are thinking and saying. So you're throwing out all of that by not having actual communication.
For sure. And that goes right into the real world too. Like we have people calling us, so like, can you give us a phone quote? I go, well, yeah, but what does that do? Like, I can't see everything. I can't meet you and I don't know anything what you have going on, but if I can come there, it's going to be quick. Schedule a free estimate. We'll meet face to face. I'll look at your house and see what you really need. And then we can discuss it. Or I can just be like, oh yeah, do you have a basement? I don't know. Do you have an attic? I don't know. I can't see it through your phone.
I know.
It's so hard. It's like when people call in the office and they ask for a phone quote, I go, yeah. Like, do you want to buy a red car? It's the same thing. Like, there's so many variations of that. Is it a Fiero? Is it a Ferrari? What kind of red car is it? Like, what kind of panel do you want?
Yeah.
What's on the outside? Is it a crawl space? How far is your, like, there's so
and
many
in messaging,
variations.
how long does that take? Because we think about it, because like that happens and you're back and forth and you're sending email or text and then you get interrupted and that person replies back like 2 hours later, but now you're busy.
Yeah.
You're at an appointment or you're doing something with whatever. And so you don't answer back until the next day and then you message them back and then they're busy. And so 3 days of communication versus making a phone call.
We just do, we just schedule estimates unless it's like something, can you change a fixture or something like super? We just don't. We do all in-person estimates for that reason.
Yes.
I don't want to. If we say this and then the guys get there, we're booked out. We're booked out several weeks. So if we got you on this schedule, like it's going in, and we get there like, oh no, we can't do this because you phone quoted it, you couldn't see it. Then we all lose.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just come there, meet your, see your house. And let's get a that way when we schedule you, we're gonna come and we're gonna get the job. We're gonna get the job done. There's gonna be no questions, no gray areas. You know what you're getting.
And that's huge because you already have the selling point, right? Because if someone was like, no, can we just do it over the phone? Like there's a process for a reason.
Yeah. Or they're like, oh well, he said he was gonna do it for this. Well, yeah.
Cool.
How do you know?
How do you know?
Or I'll go out and look at it and they'll say, oh, well, this guy on the phone said he'd do it for this. I'm like, well, yeah, he didn't see this, or this. Your whole backyard is concrete. I got to run a ground wire 50 foot to the other side of the house to ground it. Don't see that on the phone. But you're going to see that when he comes to your house and already has you, and then your price goes here. Like, I don't want any surprises. Do it the right way. Take the time. Come do it. Yep. It's all of that goes hand in hand. Right?
It's huge.
Yeah.
I love what you said earlier, just thinking about, the depth of your bench, taking it back to sports. And that, because I had the same epiphany at one point where I had a friend ask me who they should go see on my sales team. And I was like, not this person. And I was like thinking about that. And then afterwards I thought, I should never have anybody on my team that I have to apologize for, or that I have to say, don't go see this person. Make sure you go see this person. I want to be able to confidently say, any of them. Go talk to any of them. They're all rock stars.
So I think with that, there's some guys that are better at some things than others. Like even with sales, right?
Yeah.
You could all right, you're a good closer or you're a good figure stuff out. I think everyone's got their own
special superpower.
Yeah, they're great at, like, we'll have guys that are great at generators. Of another guy that's a wizard at fishing walls, right? Like, he can fish your wall and you won't have to any patches on it. So, I would say everybody in your team, like, your 4 batter is better than your 8 batter, right? So, but your 8 batter is a better center fielder than your 4. So I think they all have their own special characters and their own special traits that they're good at. And I think you could, like, if you asked me, I would, you can ask any one of my guys, but I'm going to send you the guy that's great at that, what you're looking for. And I'm sure that goes with sales too, right? You can, like, unless this guy's just horrible at everything.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, there's personality mixes.
Then you don't want him on your team. Yeah.
It's like, yes, that's an awesome way. I love that you said that, because it's a different mindset. It's not a mindset of, I have to apologize for this person. But now when you have a depth of your bench, you can now look at the special skills and traits of what works for that particular client.
Yep. Now, maybe he's a bat boy. Don't talk to him.
Yeah.
But if he's on your bench and he's a good, I mean, he's got to be good. He's there for a reason. He's got to be good at something.
Yes.
So, like, he might not have been that guy's choice, but he's good at something. He does something right.
It is huge. And just from a sales standpoint, it's like personality or a match, or like if you have somebody that works specifically well with older people. Yeah. They like working with older people. They're more patient and slower. It's like, I'm going to send you to this person because.
Right. And we all have those, and you have those guys. The patience is huge because, we deal with all walks of life. We have customers that want to stare over your shoulder and watch everything you do. And some guys don't want to be bothered. They just want to go in, do their thing, and get the job done. Because we have a lot of stuff we got to cram in one day. So if you constantly have a guy asking you questions and do this. So I say, when that happens, sell them. Nobody wants to be sold. So if they start talking to you and looking over your shoulder, Mr. Jones, can I interest you in a surge protector? Or can I interest you in that start? And then I say, they'll leave. They won't be over your shoulder anymore. And they're like, does that work? I go, it does.
5,000%.
Absolutely, it works. Oh, yeah. Start selling them. He'll leave.
I love that you said that, because I haven't thought of that in a long time. Yeah. But I'd have salespeople that are complaining that certain people would come in and they'd be in there too long. Like, we had a retail location, like, oh, they're always coming in here and just, they'll take an hour of my time.
Like, you want to buy a phone case? You want to buy a charger?
Yeah. You start hardcore selling them and stop being nice.
All right.
They'll leave.
Oh, I'm leaving. And
every single time you watch, like, as soon as they flipped it, it's like they're gone.
Yep. So that's my answer for those.
Just start selling them.
But some people some people can handle that. They can handle them, and they're just like, they just go about their job. Some people don't want to. They don't want to. So if you don't mind knowing your shoulder, have a conversation with them. Sometimes it's fun talking. Having a good conversation with people. And for the people that don't, sell them a surge protector.
I love it.
Oh, it's funny.
How did you go from, so you had, you got the experience, you're working with Dave. How did you go from working to saying, I'm going to open up my own thing?
So I was when I got my master's. I got my master's at 29. I wanted to have it before I was 30, and I got it. And I had a company picked me up as a journeyman electrician. So I was their journeyman electrician, and they saw that I should have been more than their electrician. They wanted me to take over that master electrician role. So it was kind of funny too. I was close. I was able to take my test. I had the time in, and they're like, do you think you can pass it? I go, well, it has like an 80% fail rate. So, but yeah, I'm sure I can pass it, but I don't know. 80% of the people don't. So,
I'm confident, but not confident.
So I went and I took it. And back then it was like a 3-week wait. Now it's instantly, right when you leave, but then it wasn't. So I had 3-week wait. So I went and took the test, and they fired the guy before I got my results. So they're like, hey, I hope you passed it, because that's your position. It's like, wow, talk about some stress, right? I'm not only waiting for the results to get mailed to me, but they already fired him, and I was taking over his spot. I was like, wow. So, I mean, I passed it.
Spoiler alert, I passed it.
I passed, but I was like, the envelope got mailed. I didn't want to open it. I'm like holding it up to the light, like, don't open it. And I opened it and passed it. So I was able to run an electrical division inside of a larger company. They did heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. I held the master electrician license, so I was able to see like guys that have ran companies before run stuff and kind of watch what they do, and that was very helpful. Like you open a company, you're like, all right, what do I do? I need employees, I need work, I need this. Well, kind of seeing that, it was very helpful to see that go and how they did it and how they operated, and it was a larger company to see how they did that stuff. So taking that and then jumping into, all right, I'm gonna go on my own. It was kind of easy. I already knew what it took. But they had quite a few guys. I had two. It was like two, and then we went to three, and then four, and five, and then six, and 10, and you just keep growing, and it's like, wow, we got a good thing going here, and then 2 locations, and it was cool. But I definitely had a nice to see how they did it was super helpful. And I look at young guys starting companies now, and it's like, man, we actually started a group that kind of helps guys that are owning businesses kind of how to do things, how to navigate. We've been there, like several of us have been doing it for 13, 20 years.
Yeah.
From SEO to getting your software going digital. How to we have like an hour meeting once every 2 weeks, and kind of just teach. It's kind of like a think tank.
That's super awesome.
It's cool. I think we're at like 7 years now of having that. So
that's cool. How do people do that?
What's that?
How do people get in that?
So I mean, it's a contract. It's all contractor. It's My Local Pros. It's out of Livonia, and just contractor based. You come in, and same thing. It's like an interview. Like if you fit well with our group, then we'll bring you on board. And same with us. We started from like 5, and I think we're at 15 now. 15 guys, and it's great. Like, I mean, even just going in there, like, what phone service do you use? How did you handle the PPP loan? Like, you're trying to navigate this stuff as a business owner. Like, you've never had that before, right? No one has. But when you have 10 other guys that are going through the same thing as you are, it's neat. It's nice.
You're not alone all of a
sudden. You're not alone. You're like, oh. Or if you just have a question, you're like, as a business owner, who do you ask? You're the guy, right?
That's
like everybody has an out. Oh, how do you do this? Or how do you like when you're the owner? You don't have an out. This kind of gives you a, hey, I can ask somebody else. Maybe they've gone through this. There's like 15 guys. You can say, hey, have you gone? Matter of fact, I have. Check this. We'll bring lawyers in and just talk business to like, hey, how do you what do you do about this? How do you write your contracts? What do you lean? Like, nobody knows that stuff. But having that, someone come in and tell you like, oh, that's not hard. That's easy. It makes it easy when you know the right way to do it.
It's huge. And it's again the mentality of going and building relationships with people that do the same thing that you do. A lot of times there's a scarcity of that's my competitor. But if you look at it of like we're all in the same boat, because who else is going through the same stuff than them, right?
Right. I mean, yeah. There's. I don't ever look at it as like I was when I was younger, I was always like, oh man, this is my price structure. I don't want anybody to see this.
Yeah.
I'll send it to everybody because it doesn't matter how much it costs. It's how you install it, how you sell it, and how you stand behind it.
Absolutely,
that's 5,000%. I'll give anybody. I used to hold up. I would. All my stuff's digital. I'm sure everybody has it, but I don't even care. Because if you can, maybe you can outsell me, but you're not going to out warranty me or have the stand behind it. Because I'm very passionate about the stuff that we put in your house, and I have people calling me, hey, yep, that was 3 years ago. We'll come look at it, see what's going on.
Yep.
Like it is like these are big ticket items, and this is the person's most valuable asset they have is their house. Right. And I tell my guys that all the time, like you're going into someone's number one asset. You got to treat it like that. They've worked their butts off for that. That's their pride and joy. That's their home. So we got to treat it like it's their home. And we do. And that goes to show, like, that's why we get so many good reviews, because we're taking our shoes off when we come to your door. We're putting down drop cloths. We have the proper stuff to go over our tools so we don't spray drywall over your house. Whatever we can do to make it a pleasure experience, we're going to do it. So it's come beat that.
It's huge. That's what, you can, again, somebody can take your pricing, they can take your marketing plan, they can take whatever. They've got to match it all.
Yep.
And if they do, good for them.
Good. Yeah.
Good for them.
Yep.
There'll be another good company out there that people can take care of, because there's never going to be so much business, and everybody needs you to some degree.
Yeah. I mean, if someone, I've looked at quotes and I said, hey, that's a good company. I wouldn't, you won't have any problems. Or I looked at something, I was like, ooh, yeah. Well, that's why.
Yeah. That's all the response they need.
Yeah, you can have that one. Yeah, and I mean, I've been doing it long enough. I know, you know who's good and who's not, and join forces. Like, we've done it. I'm not the only one that puts in generators. There's a lot of companies out there that do it, and actually sometimes we go to the training together, and and we'll talk and have good conversations. Like, you guys doing this. Those are. I'd rather be let's talk about it, be allies than be enemies.
It takes a whole, again, it's like the steel sharpening steeler. I think we talked about Brad Holmes and the Lions. He said the cornerback room is going to be a bloodbath in the sense of, like, there's so much competition. When there's so much competition, everybody goes to another level.
Yeah.
Unless you're not suited to compete.
Yeah.
And then you drop out of the competition.
Right.
And that's just the way life and business works.
It is. And you should strive to be the best. Like, you should be the best. I mean, if you're not striving for the best, and why are you in business? Like, you don't want to just be mediocre. I want to be the best.
And it's easy for you to not have a worry about giving out your pricing or whatever else to a competitor or to somebody else in the industry, because you have that 5,000% confidence that you're the best.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would give my pricing structure to anybody. You can have it. Here it is. And it's pretty in line. We do a fair share of estimates, so we kind of know what the market is out there.
Yeah.
We're not the cheapest. We're not the most expensive, but we're somewhere right in the middle.
Yeah.
I guess if I was to say, we would be towards the higher than lower, but we have a ton of value, and you're getting that value. And I can explain everything. If you say why, I can tell you exactly why. And if you want the price to come down, then what are we gonna lose? Is it the warranty? Is it the workmanship? What do you want? What are you willing to sacrifice for us to make ours cheaper? Because our pricing is very thought out. I built a whole digital price sheet, and it wasn't built overnight. I work on it. I work on it every week.
So you're probably always fine tuning it.
Always doing it, changing it, tweaking it. It's always a work in progress. But when my guy goes to your house and you have a question, he can pull it up and give you that. Give you a pretty rough price right there, which is pretty neat.
How much easier to do business when the price is the price?
Yeah. I used to handwrite it. I used to go into your house and I would to Jason, and I'd handwrite the whole thing. Yeah. And that was your estimate. And then you'd call back and say, hey, Mike, I'm gonna go ahead with that estimate. Copy that all to an invoice. And then you're like, no, I want to add this. Okay. And then give that to you. Now, I'd have stacks full of paper, invoices, estimates. It's all on my phone, on my lap. It go from my phone to my laptop. It's all there. And if you want to change, delete, add. Here you go. Our estimates, most of them are in your hand before I leave your house. 90% of them. If you call us, you're gonna get a picture of our tech coming out to your house, or a picture of me if we're doing an estimate, or one of my estimators. And you'll have that in your inbox before we leave, with pictures, detailed, line itemed out. There's no confusion. That's like, if you get hey, I'm doing panel, recessed lights, doing all this stuff, generator, and you just get a lump price, then you don't know, like, hey, Mike, I want to add one can, or can I get rid of one can? Well, you don't know what that price is.
Yeah.
Mine's a quantity of, everything.
So it makes,
you're like, oh, so if I want to add one, you know what it is to add one. It works for both of us.
Yep. It's transparent.
It is. Yep. Here's our price. Here's everything that's included with the price, and it's all broken down.
I want to reverb to everybody listening is like, when you have that confidence that you're serving people at the highest level, when you know your team, you're about taking care of people, that you're confident that you're the best. It's easy to point out and say, this is the price one.
Yeah.
And then be confident enough to be transparent.
It is. And it's like, I don't even want to talk about lowering it. Let's talk about value.
Exactly.
Let's talk about let's talk about what you're getting versus this price. This is going to be in your house for 15, 20, 30 years, and we're talking about a couple $100. if someone spills glue on your carpet, that's going to be $100. I mean, that's going to be more than, we're talking nothing. We're talking pennies a day over the course of how long this is going to be in your house. You want it to be nice. You want it to be right. You want to know that your technicians that are coming to your house like their job, that they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want two guys complaining about the company they work for and how they treat them like crap. I don't want that guy doing my panel. I want the guy that's happy. Hey, you know, and we get those reviews. Like, they were happy from the time they walked in to the time they walked us through the entire job. At the end of the job, it was a great experience, and that's what you want as a customer. You want to be like, wow, I got a great job. Like, that's nothing. You don't want to these guys leave your house and be like, man, where do they cut? What do they do? Do they cut corners? Did they leave stuff out? Did they not ground my pan? Like, we have before pictures, we have after pictures. You can see everything we did. You're getting a good job.
Oh, that's awesome. And you can see it.
You can see it. Yep. Here was your old panel. Here's your new panel. Here's everything we've done. It's and some of that's to protect you, and some of that's to protect us. I mean, we've gone back to some of our pictures where they're like, hey, you guys put a paint chip. Like, well, this is the paint chip that was in on the estimate. Oh, all right, maybe it wasn't. So
I love that when they have to pull their oh man.
Yeah. Hey, maybe it wasn't, but it was there on the estimate. Like, we have the before picture. So, but I've been doing this a long time. I've seen a lot.
Well, how much of that is it's like you learn, you learn from it.
It's always learning. And then some stuff you just chalk it up as, hey, we're going to learn from that. That'll never happen again. Right. We're going to eat this. We're going to make it right.
Yeah.
But don't happen again.
Yeah.
Like, one time, let's all learn from this. Let's whatever it is, and moving forward, we won't happen again.
It's
right?
the cost of the lesson.
It is.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was an expensive lesson or an average cost, but at any rate, it was a lesson. And I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to. If it happens twice, we'll have some problems. But if it's hey, let's learn from it. Why did it happen? Let's fix it. What can we do? And then let's tell everybody else in the company, like, hey, I ran through this. This happened. Let's not do that again. Let's not put a hot chandelier on a table that's going to burn your table. Let's take it outside because we can't find that table anymore.
That's rough.
Yeah.
But again, the things you just learn as a human, and you're like.
But that goes back to your company's got to stand behind it. Like, if you took the other, the other company that was going to whatever price, are they going to stand behind your table? Are they going to stand behind their guys?
Yeah.
Like, I stand behind all my guys. Like, if something happens, we're gonna stand behind it. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna make it right, and it's not gonna be any stress to you.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
At what point did you realize it was time to open the second location up?
Farmington was rocking, and I always look at companies with multiple franchises, and when you look at larger companies, they don't just have one location. They have multiple locations, and it was super inspiring to me to just go out and do that, just to have a second location. And guys that I remember, I told you, like, they can start at the bottom and they kind of grow and get. Well, I got guys that have came all the way that they're the me of that. So I'm like, well, you guys don't need me here. You guys came from here to here. You guys are running this thing. It's time for me to go open up a second location and then start from ground one. So that's where we are now, and they don't really need me there anymore. I mean, they know what I want. They know what I expect. They know everything. So now I'm starting back at.
You did your job developing them. You put the system and the processes in place.
It's all in place, and they do an awesome job of it, man. It's awesome watching that thing work. It's cool driving by there, going, wow, they don't need me. They don't need me.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Like, as I say, how cool is that to know that you built that?
Like, I've always wanted that. I like some of these groups, like these networking groups, are like, what fuels your passion, or what's your, and mine was always like to have this thing run the way that I would run it without me being there. Because you want that. I don't want to micromanage you. I mean, you may know how to do this way better than I do. And come to find out through my experiences, some guys are way better at things than I ever, and I thought I was the best. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, you're way better at that than I ever was. So that's your spot. And now, like, a driver by there going, it's there. They rock that thing out, and they're so good.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And again, it frees you up to now where you can come and rinse and repeat.
Now I got to go start, starting all over again. Like if it wasn't for Brighton, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be doing this. Networking and talking with people. And Brighton's such an awesome community. I love it out here. It's cool.
It's so cool.
It's so tight knit. And like from the chamber to like just all the people I've met, they're awesome people.
This whole county, Livingston County, is fantastic.
It is.
I fell in love with Brighton really, really easily. And we moved out here 13 years ago. And just, again, this community, it's tight knit. Me and my wife have both been in business roles here. And I was like, I just want to be here. Like I was a director of stores for a company, and we had 9 locations across the state of Michigan, and none of them were in Brighton. In fact, right after I left, my company bought the Brighton location. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You bought it now? Out of all this, it's so funny that happened. But I'm like, I just want to be in my town. I want to serve these, I want to work with these businesses and serve these people because, again, this community is just phenomenal.
But if you were with your company before, would you be doing this right now?
There was a yes.
Yes.
There was a runway. I knew what I wanted. I talked about. I was fortunate enough to meet a guy like you that was all about developing and giving back and growing his people, and he changed my life. I was always a good salesperson, but he gave me an opportunity. He saw something in me, as far as a leader goes, and he put me in a role that was tough and challenging for me, and he kicked my ass over and over and over again, and helped me really switch my mindset.
Yeah.
And again, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
Yep.
But he really lit up in me the thought of opening up a consulting business, because we've had so much conversation that's reminded me of him because of talking about he was never afraid to give up the secrets. And I remember we'd go to conventions and conferences in Vegas or whatever, and he'd just be sharing everything with everybody. And I'm like, why do you do that? And he was like, dude, if they go do it, awesome. But most likely they're not.
If I don't know why, but it reminds me of a recipe. Like you can give somebody a recipe, but is it going to be as good as that person made it? Because you can give me a recipe and you can make something, but the way that my mom made it or aunt made it was way better. You can have all the ingredients, but there's just something about the what you put into it makes it better.
Yeah.
So you got, and it's hard
franchises.
to
And you mentioned franchises earlier. I was a part of a franchise in my role before I started my company. And, you can create the same system, the same process. Like let's say use McDonald's, for example, right? Like every McDonald's is the same as far as their meat, their recipes, their systems, their processes, but every McDonald's is different.
Yeah. Right. One might taste better or has a better looking, not have a dilapidated burger coming out of a wrapper.
People in the building care more.
100%.
Right? There's a system and a culture. So it depends on who that owner is or who that leader is of that organization, that company.
Yeah.
Because it's people don't quit their jobs; they quit their bosses.
Yeah.
And that's so true because you're the tone setter. You're creating the culture that we've talked about this whole entire time, to the point where you created a system and a culture that you ingrained and developed people in. You brought in people that had the same core values as you, and the people that passed that check, right?
Yep.
And build a company with those people to the point where you could walk away and start another one.
Yeah.
And so many, especially franchises, I was having this conversation with my wife this weekend, is like, franchises are kind of the bane of my existence in the sense of the franchise model in itself. It's a great way for people to start a business, but the franchises itself, they just want growth. They don't really care about that person.
They lose the fire.
They lose the fire.
I mean, if you start it, you had a passion to start it, right? Something inside you wanted to start this. So you have to have, somebody has got to have that same fire to start that franchise. And it can't be money. It can't be it can't be money. Like,
I think business in general, business or leadership, you can't go into it wanting money.
You can't. The money will come. Do it because you love doing it. Do it because you have a passion for it. The money's going to come.
Yep.
But if you're doing it for money, you're going to be doing everything for the wrong reasons.
And you're going to be miserable.
Yeah. Yes.
Miserable.
Yes.
So I had this leader once that like I couldn't figure out why he couldn't do well. Like he was like, for all intents and purposes, he should have been a great leader. And then one day we were having a conversation and he was like, I don't give a shit about any of these people. Like, oh, that's it. That's okay. That's it. Like now you just made me make it. Yeah. You made it make all the sense in the world of why people are rebelling against you and why people don't want to work for you.
Yeah.
Like I'm not here every day. I didn't see that.
That's huge.
It's huge.
Right? You have to interact with everybody. Like them, like help pick this guy. If he's failing here, help pick this up. That will give you, but if that would give you gratification. Like if you don't like what fuels you? Like if you see someone struggling, you can help him get past that. And like that
fuels me.
That's an awesome feeling. Like if you don't care about any of them, like why are you doing it? You're in the wrong spot. You need to be a one-person show somewhere because that's exactly
it.
Yeah.
And so for people listening, if you don't care about people, can you be successful in business? Yeah, sure, maybe. Like being a lone man guy, like probably you could. There's Wolf of Wall Street, right?
You could be a lawyer.
You could be a lawyer. There are people out there that are extremely talented, like the Jordan Belforts of Wolf of Wall Street, that didn't give a shit about people, that created a system that he found a way to rip off people and make money and go to prison and then come back out and make a lot more of money, right? Like, good for him. He found a way to anyways. He doesn't
feel good about himself. There's no way he can.
At the end of the day, does he feel good about himself? Probably not. No. I would imagine there's a lot of broken stuff inside of him, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Versus like when you're doing it the right way, when you do truly care.
Yep.
I use this example all the time, and it's a sports example, but like Tom Izzo. You look at the guy, and there's maybe not in the last couple of years because I think he listened to a lot to what the press was saying. But there'd be times where you'd see him erupting on a player, and he'd be in their face, and it looked like he was almost violent, like about to headbutt them, and and all these people would like came down on him, and like, is this guy, and he's got his, can't control himself and that kind of thing. But all the players would always be like, he loves me.
Yeah.
Like he wants what's best for me, and he's the reason why I came here.
Because he knows what I'm capable of doing, and he knows I'm not doing it. That's probably why he's yelling.
Exactly it.
That's what the player's probably thinking because you have so much respect for him. But people on the outside looking in are probably like, God, what the guy's
because all they see is yelling.
Yeah.
When you know someone cares, the reason why they're so upset is because they want what's best for you. They care about you so much. They love you.
Yep.
And they just want to see you grow, and that's his way of getting it through. And so there's not the screw that guy.
Yeah.
And the ones that do are usually the ones that aren't ready to set you free, but first will piss you off, right? And sometimes people aren't ready to hear it.
Yeah.
I've had to terminate people that weren't getting the job done that years later messaged me and said, thank you so much. I needed to be fired.
It's funny. I fired a guy and he goes, I can't believe you kept me this long.
Yeah.
I go, because I don't want to see you fail. Like I want to give you, I don't want to say I didn't give you the tools to succeed. If I don't give you the tool, I'm going to give you every tool to succeed. And if you don't, then it's on you. Like I'm going to give you everything. And I did. Yeah. That's why I kept you so long. Because I wanted to make sure I did everything I could to make sure you're successful. And if you keep failing and keep not doing what showing up, I mean, it's not going to work out. Like I'm going to fully invest in you. I expect the same back.
Yep. And it's easy at that point.
Yeah.
I used to lose sleep about firing people, but like at the end of the day, my mentor that I've talked about here a couple of times would always say, like, you don't fire people fire themselves.
Yeah.
When you've had the conversations, when you've done everything you can to make them better, to help them get better, and it's still not working.
Yeah.
And they know it, right? When you come to them, they're like, I can't believe it lasted this long.
And I've never had to fire someone who're like, what?
I've had one, but it's because you're completely oblivious.
My worry is that I keep guys too long and I'm going to affect the other guys.
That's it.
It's like I don't want to affect, and it comes a point where it's like, hey, if he's allowing that, then we can be doing that, and it's like no, that's not right. But we'll give him time to make it right, and if he can't make it right, then he's not part of our team.
This is huge talk for anybody building a team.
Yeah.
Like we start feeling bad, but what happens is that cancer develops, and cancer, just like real life
grows.
Cancer, it grows.
Yes.
In a couple things. One, people are like, if they're letting him get away with that, then why can't we? We'll do the same thing. Yep. It starts that mentality of like, they start performing like the worst person because it's acceptable.
Yep.
And how can you tell them no? Or I'm going to write you can't do nothing about it because you're letting this person do it.
And then they're mad because they got to do this, and
they got to pick up the slack for that person.
Slack for that guy. Yeah. Yep.
I always at the beginning, I would feel like when I fire somebody, the team's friends with that guy, I'm going to have a backlash.
Yep.
And it was almost like a celebration whenever I did. It was like I started learning my lesson that everybody recognized the same thing that I recognized, that this person was wasting all of their time. They liked him. They'd probably go out and hang out and drink beers with the person.
Yeah.
But as far as a coworker goes,
like, no,
we're picking up this person's slack.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all in this together. And if this guy's slacking, and they said it, like, this guy doesn't come help us. We don't want to work with him. And we're like, all right, well, time to go. Yeah. And he wasn't. I mean, they're never shocked.
Yeah.
It's funny.
You probably get like every time I ever did it, it was like there was more energy. Like it would be like a week long of like increase of people like.
Yeah, but I was the same as you. Like I hate doing it.
Yeah,
I would lose sleep. And I'm like, man, I mean, ultimately it's messing with someone's life,
absolutely.
Right? And it's like, you're ultimately messing with mine because this is my livelihood and this is all of our livelihood. And if you can just roll out and get another job. I can't. This is my baby. I created this. I created this for all of them. Like, this is for all of us.
That's absolutely it.
This puts food on all of our tables. Like this is a machine.
It's really about shifting those perspectives because we put ourselves in, we feel bad for that person. It's their livelihood. All those things you say are absolutely true. I love what you just said, because at the end of the day, this is my livelihood. Yep. This is my reputation.
Yeah.
If I'm sending this person out and they're doing a half-ass job, that's what my customer's seeing. It's my client's seeing. That's what they're going out and telling other people. They don't care that they're messing that up for you.
It's my last name on the truck.
It's your last name on the truck.
It's on the truck.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no mistaking.
You can't. No.
There's no mistaking if you're showing up completely branded.
Yeah. I mean, we're branded. It's everywhere. Like, yeah, we're proud. We want to keep proud of that. We don't mess it up.
You have such a cool logo too.
Yeah. It's funny how that happened. Like, I think my wife's friend designed it 13 years ago. I mean, it was a long time ago. And I was like, I always wanted I didn't want the lightning bolt. I didn't want the plug. I wanted something cool. And I think it was way before its time. Like, I think these logos now are all going towards this.
Yeah.
So it was back when people had plugs and lightning bolts. I had the oval N. It's cool. And yellow's the first.
It stands out. It's like
yellow is the first color your eye sees. That's why school buses are yellow. That's why caution's a yellow, because you're drawn to yellow.
Yeah.
So when you see this on a truck and you're driving down the road,
it pops.
It pops. And you want to see it. Yep.
That's so cool. It's the little things.
It's the little
details that you don't think about.
It is, yeah. But I know that's the first color your eyes are going to see, and it just looks cool. And I'm not a diehard Michigan fan or anything. It's just I
happened.
Like blue, and yellow is the first color your eyes see.
It just happened.
It just happened. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, because you came in. I'm like, man, you're brilliant. That's one of the things I get all the time. Is people are like, you're always wearing your logo. Like, my wife used to be like, why are you wearing your shirt your work shirt on a weekend? I'm like, work shirt? This is my shirt. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I recently got the American flag put on them now, so
I like that.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I wear every day. I wear some kind of a shirt like this, or yeah.
I think it comes down to, I've always looked at business and like sales and all the stuff that I'm in as like a sports, but about being a team. Like, I'm not a professional sports player, but like I'm still coaching, I'm still leading, I'm still playing, right?
Yep.
And it's putting on that logo and being a part of the team. And I've had people say, "What team is that?" It's mine.
My team.
My team.
And that's awesome. It's the best team.
Yeah.
My favorite team.
But it's really cool to, again, for you, like, you're growing something where you're like, how many people do you have out on the road?
We've had as many as 14. We're dipping down a little bit now and trying to rebuild back up. And now with summer coming, we're getting super busy again. So we're looking for a couple more. I think company-wide right now we're probably 13. Usually go around 14, 16.
Okay.
That's probably our good number.
And as far as looking, are you looking for both locations, or is it universal?
So I'm looking. Well, right now we're looking for another one in Farmington. We're getting close to Brighton. We got almost enough workload that we can keep a truck running out of here full time. Nice. So we're super. My goal is by the summer to have next couple of months to have a truck running out of here.
Oh, super awesome.
So it's neat hitting the pavement, putting the work in, getting
seeing the truck driving around.
Yeah, I think that's another big thing. Like when you're down there, the trucks are. They're all over.
I remember you telling me that.
People are like text me. I mean, I used to think it was cool when you get a picture of your truck, and I was like, man, just get
now it's like, oh, whatever.
Like whatever. Yeah, Like they're everywhere. But I think once they get out here and start circulating in here, it's gonna help too. Get the truck driving around town.
Yeah. It's like planting the flag.
It is, yeah. And they're cool trucks. I like my trucks. They're big. They got the big yellow N on it. They're cool.
It's fun. Cool when you can love your branding.
It's awesome seeing them drive around. Like, it's so cool when you're driving and like, and when someone sends you a picture, it's like whatever. When you're like driving down, you're like, a truck. That's cool. It's pretty neat.
Kind of to wrap up conversation, we were talking about one. We've talked a lot about finding people and finding good people, and we were talking about when we were having a conversation on Friday. My wife's new position and going in and the talent outreach coordinator and working, trying to get more kids in the trades. And you talked about like, man, I'd love to speak and I've done stuff because it's like showing people that, you know, it isn't just this one thing. There's so many different things. Like, what would you tell kids right now?
I mean, that's like, I touched briefly on that. Like when people think of like electricians or they think of plumbers, they're thinking like, I vision them thinking like, a flannel shirt in a construction worker guy.
Yeah.
Like and that can be it too. But I mean, don't, you got to have a vision. I want them to know like, hey, this is back in the day, this was a job. This is a career now. And you can make really good money doing this. Everybody's pushing college. Well, college is great, but it's not for everyone.
Absolutely.
You can come out with zero debt and an awesome job, and probably more than the person coming out of college is going to make, and he's got a couple $100,000 in debt. So if
and no guaranteed role, no guaranteed job,
role. And a lot of people don't even do their roles when they get out. Their degree is, they don't even use it. They found another job because their degree is it doesn't make enough money, or it's not existent. You always need electrical. You always need plumbing. You always need heating and cooling. And if you don't want to sit behind a desk, you want to be out in the field. You know, you have freedom. Nobody's breathing over your neck all day. You don't have the water cooler drama, and it's nice. And I would talk into that, and you know, just tell kids like it was great for me. College wasn't for me. I tried it. It wasn't. I learned from it. I learned from everything. I mean, you take a little bit out of everything, but. Man, the trades if you like working with your hands and you like gratification, it's a great role to get into.
And I love it because there's so many options, because you were able to see a path really, you know, to be able to go and build your own business.
Yeah. And anybody can do that. Like I would like you can take it as far as you want it. Like not everybody has. I mean, running a company is not for everybody. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of late hours. The light's always on first and out last. I mean, it's a long day, but it's gratifying at the end when you can get it and build it and see what you built. But it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody's a people person. Not everybody. Some people just want to come in, do their thing, do a good thing, and then go home, and that's fine too. You can do that. Go become a licensed electrician, plumber, heating, cooling guy. Come do your job, and your phone's not going to ring after 5 o'clock. Mine doesn't stop all day. Mine starts at 5 in the morning and doesn't quit ringing until. But you know, not everybody wants that, and if you don't, then there's so many different roles you can take in this.
And that's huge, because again, not everybody's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Not everybody's a business owner. And some people are perfectly happy coming in, punching in from 9 to 5 or
and
whatever.
I want to shut down at 5 and I want to go home, or 4, whatever it is, and I'm out of here. And don't talk to me for the rest of the night. Cool. That's you, and that's great. Some people are like, man, I want to.
Because we need all of everybody. We need people that want to own their businesses. We need people that want to just work.
Yeah. Some people are like, I want more. Then stay till 10 o'clock. Let's go.
Congratulations. We've added another hour.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and that's, I say that too. I'm like, hey, whatever you guys want, like it's open. Like you want to work weekends? Let me know. I'll give you Saturday. We have the workload, but I also don't want to push for weekend work, because you got to have family too. You got to have a balance. You got to put my guys work very hard. We all work very hard throughout the week. So, like, the weekends are your downtime. And if you don't have downtime, you're going to start making mistakes. So, I always give it. And then if you say, hey, Mike, I'd like to work some Saturdays, or can I give you some extra money? Let's go. We'll sign you up. You can work as much as you want. It's there.
It's huge. So, to truly wrap it up, you'd mentioned family. And, we talked at the beginning. We talked a lot about sports and stuff like that. Yeah. So let's give a shout out for your family.
My family's great. My son, Gavin, 18, he's going to Saginaw Valley to play football. My daughter of 16 is over at St. Catherine's, great volleyball player and softball player. She's me. I think I said it before.
Yeah.
She's a mini me, and it's kind of scary to see a female version.
I was gonna say
see a female version of this thing.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'm like, oh, my wife's like, she's you. I'm like, oh yeah,
There's no denying it.
She's me. And then my wife Kelly, we've been married for 19 years.
Wow.
And she's awesome. She's been behind me 100%. I mean, through everything. I mean, running a business is not easy. From late nights, early mornings, to reeling me back in because I have no ceiling. I will go, and she's like, "You need a break. You need to stop. You need to sleep." And I'm just like, "No way." Let's go. So she knows because I'll get burnt out. I'll go. I'm like a bird dog. Just go nonstop until you
hit it.
Until you have a stroke.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, so she does a great job of just reeling me in, keeping me grounded. Literally electrical grounded.
Yeah. You didn't even do that on purpose. That's awesome. It went over my head until you said you reverbed it.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's great. I mean, we have a great time together. It's fun watching our families grow, and we're close to being empty nesters. Gavin's gonna be in college, and McKenna's gonna be. 2 more years she'll be in college. So
yes, it's insane.
This is gonna be weird this fall without Gavin around. It's gonna be different. Yeah, but. It'd be cool going to watch him play.
I was gonna say it's a whole new level of experience.
But it's like our family. Like we like have we talk. Like he just comes home and we'll sit down and just hey man, what happened? Well, how's your day or how you doing or what's going on? Yeah. Just he likes to talk and
I only have one and I'm not and he's the sophomore as we talked and it's like enjoying everything because it happens so quick.
It does, man. I've been pictures. He was this now like. He's ripped. I gotta tread lightly with him. Like he'll kick my ass.
And you said, I know you said when we talked way back that he's fearless too.
Yeah. He has no fear. Oh, he has no fear. I mean, that kid is not. We snowmobile and ride dirt bikes up together, and he's like, he's like next level. The kid's good. I mean, there's nothing he's not good at. It's crazy watching this kid.
That's so cool.
I'm super excited to see where he lands and what the future holds for him.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, this has been such a cool conversation.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm so glad you came down.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is cool. I was looking forward to this. I'm like, when's my podcast coming up?
Yeah.
I want to talk to Jason. Even when we see outside, we just have good conversations.
Oh, I know. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Cool. Thanks a lot for having me.
My pleasure.